Summertime's coming here in Oklahoma, and pretty soon it's going to dry out, and it's time to start thinking about irrigating our yards. So what I have here, just to demonstrate, is a soil moisture probe, just to see where would we be at with our soil moisture after a rain. So it just so happens it's just rained recently here. So I've got this soil moisture probe in the ground. I take a reading, and it's actually giving me a value in this soil here, which is somewhat of a high clay content soil of over 50%. So what that's telling me is this soil has actually been rained on recently, and it's saturated right now. So what happens is you'll get a rainfall. If it's a good rainfall, the soil will become saturated. The big water droplets will come out and it will drain. So the macropores will drain, and then what you have left there after about 24 hours is something we call field capacity for soil moisture in the soil. After that, the soil is obviously going to dry out over time, and eventually it's going to get to a point where we need to irrigate again. So how do we know when it's time to irrigate our lawn? Typically in Oklahoma in the summertime, the demand for the grasses in our yard or for our landscape is going to be somewhere roughly near about 1 inch of water per week. So if we take into account the water that's evaporating out of the soil plus the water that the plant is going to use, it's roughly going to be somewhere around 1 inch of water per week. Now we can get a lot closer if we have a weather station nearby us, or if we have somewhere to get some data, or if we just monitor the soil moisture with a soil moisture probe. So these probes can be hooked up to an irrigation system, and it can monitor it in real time, and if the soil is wet, it's not going to water. If the soil dries out, the system will come on and water for you. In the same way, you can get weather data hooked up to your irrigation station. And if it has rained recently, it's going to sense that it has rained with a rain sensor. It's going to turn your system off, and then when it dries up, it's going to water based on the need, based on that climate data. So really neat things we can use. We call that smart irrigation controls. And July happens to be Smart Irrigation Month for the Irrigation Association. So what we want to do is be smart about how we water our yard. If it's recently rained, we don't want to water, let it dry out and rain again. Think about that house plant you got in the home. If you water it every day, it's actually not good for it. It may even die. If you let it dry out in between waterings, that house plant's going to be a lot healthier. Think of your lawn and your landscape in the same way.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.